Firstly, I really happy to meet you guys. My name is Seungah Eun. I'm from the CC Global. I'm a partnership manager. So our company is the metaverse aggregation company based in Shanghai. So we are the provided a lot of like exclusive metaverse information to the customers, and then we also like provide also a lot of like networking opportunity for the foreign company and into the Chinese metaverse industries. So also we have our own media platform which called it is Meta Family. So today is the metaverse during event. So through this events, we are sharing about a lot of like worldwide virtual human industries, and then hi virtual human industries and understanding, and also China. So I will introduce about the host. Our host is Fred, and also he will be hosting our event. So welcome. Welcome, Fred.
Hi. Yeah, hi. Cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah. This is the online sharing meeting of the fifth person as the metaverse. So co-sponsored by CC Global and Metaverse Family. CC Global and Metaverse Family, your gateway to the China Metaverse market. Let's briefly introduce ourselves before the opening. First, let me introduce myself. I'm a CEO of Space HD Ventures. This is Fred. Yeah, nice to meet you guys. And this is a wave of metaverse in 2021, which bears greater commercial value and social value. With the explosion of the concept of the metaverse, many people have unlimited worry about the future society. Other trends and the connection link of the metaverse, virtual digital human is appearing in everyone's field of the Beijing more and more frequently. And present, virtual digital human has been divided in several type and identity type, which can provide service in specific sense, and such as replacing the social rules of the enterprise employers. Host and many other industries are playing a role as virtual idols and virtual actors in the field of the entertainment. MetaShare series of online showing meeting launched by CC Global and the Meta Family focus on metaverse, built a communication platform for metaverse enterprise and the metaverse community. Merely online communication combined with online video conference, through scene sharing with a roundtable discussion over 2 weeks, continue to bring valuable industrial exchanges and cost sharing. So in this context today, we are talking about virtual human leading applications and future prospects. So this is the first from Korea, Klleon COO, Seungah Eun, yeah, and next, StormZ Entertainment Creative Director Jawad, Houssine, and Mario CEO Vertishare, and Creator Valery Mănicu. Okay, guys, nice to meet you. Please, could you please just introduce yourself briefly?
Who will be first?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Valery. I'm co-founder and CEO at Malivar. And Malivar is the virtual based on blockchain avatar solution being built by a team of engineers, maps, and VFX artists. We are building our solution based on AI and machine learning. We develop an infrastructure layer for avatars in synthetic media and metaverses that allows our clients to reduce cost, time, and human factor risks. That's more, we are turning our virtual humans into digital transferable assets, NFTs, which can be evaluated by fan base, unique appearance, voice. We operate globally. We work with big name brands in China, Mexico, Europe, and I'm very happy to chat with you guys and discuss virtual humans today.
Okay, thank you, Mario. And next, Jawad.
Well, yeah, okay, I will be the next one. Well, hello everyone. Nice to meet you. Of course, thank you for the invitation. My name is Jawad, and I am the artistic director behind our virtual metaverse model Sarareka at StormZ Entertainment, a company based in Canada and France. About myself, I've been working more than 10 years in the entertainment industry in North America, Europe, even in China. Between movies and video game development, I've worked recently into the aerospace industry here in Canada with the Canadian Space Agency about medical virtual reality in microgravity using virtual characters. So this show will be very interesting for me, for us, and for all the industry. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Jawad. And Klleon, are you here?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, nice to meet you. I am Chief Operating Officer of Klleon. We are making virtual human based on deep learning technology. And our specialty is making virtual human really fast. Like when we are creating mock videos, it takes about like 3 hours for us. And since we can make virtual humans so easily and fastly, we can make a lot of virtual humans on one day. So we are having a lot of influencers working on Instagram and TikTok. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you. And now last, please, the Valery Mănicu.
Hi,
Director.
Iulian.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. I'm gonna speak in the behalf of my friend Iulian. I'm TB. He cannot be here right now. Something came up, and I'm gonna speak in his behalf, if that's okay. So good morning from Romania, and thanks for the invitation for my friend. He is 22 years old, and he is a business administration student in the most prestigious private university in Romania. And he's passionate about marketing and social media, and he is the creator of the first boy influencer in Romania, a virtual influencer in Romania called Klleon. He is currently at the beginning with his with this personal project, and he wants to develop it in the near future, paying more attention to the content published on social media, mainly Instagram, but also in finding appropriate promotion methods. And thank you for the opportunity to speak in his behalf and to be with you guys here today for this project.
Yes, very great. Okay, let's talk about the overall development of the virtual idols in your country. And yeah, Mănicu, you can first. Mănicu, and everyone, just let's talk about the overall development of the virtual idols in your country. Just in your country, Mănicu, how about the development about the virtual idols?
Maybe he said Iulian, you can first.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Sorry.
So virtual people and virtual influencers in Romania are almost non-existent. from my research and Iulian's research, only he and one other creator named and other content creator have virtual personas, like only Iulian and another is a virtual creator in Romania, and she is the first woman influencer who mainly promotes a personal clothing brand, something like that. And because there is no trend of virtual influencers, there is no target audience or group of people to target as a content creator online. And that's why he adapted to a virtual person social media account in such a way that it doesn't only target people in Romania. He created it as an international model that travels a lot, so he can address the mixed audience from different countries, like, I don't know. And it's a combination of virtual living in our reality.
That's great. Thank you, Mănicu. And next, Jawad.
Yeah, sure. So virtual model and virtual influencer are very new in Europe, especially in France, because France don't have this similar culture as we can see in Japan, for example, South Korea, or even China about virtual content. Establishing Sarah in France was challenging for us. Sarah has been made in 2005, so it's been a long time right now. But she became public character in 2016. During this lapse of time, it was really hard to develop her as a virtual influencer in France. Like Iulian said, it's something that we don't have a lot of business model here. Mentality are really different compared to Asia and North America. Well, especially in the United States. Sarah get mostly famous in USA for the first time with various partnership and collaboration with brand mainly. And in fact, even nowadays, there is few virtual influencers in France, maybe like 3, 4. So it's not huge, like as we can see in Japan or even in USA. So I would say the market is not yet ready here for this new technology. However, some European countries such as UK or even Russia are welcoming this new technology trends. Again, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week created the first hybrid fashion week in the world in 2020 in Moscow. And it was a huge success. Many Chinese media talk about this, such as Elle China. Some of virtual models get even featured in Forbes magazine among the 12 most virtual influencers in the world, including Aliona. And we were happy to see Sarah, of course, inside this article. So Sarah is also developed and established in Canada. And as far as I know, she's the only virtual influencer here. The Canadian market is also not really, I would say, for this kind of new technologies compared in the United States. And I would say mentality of people is the keyword for the success of this. So this is it.
Yes, very good. Thank you. And next up is Klleon.
Yeah, in Korea, it is the idea of virtual human is pretty pervasive in Korea. So there are a lot of types of virtual humans, and virtual idols, virtual influencers are very active in South Korea. There are a lot of virtual YouTubers who can currently working actively in Korea, and they can be divided into 2 types. One of them is virtual character, which is made by animations drawn by human, and then they're made to move. And then there are virtual humans, such as our own virtual human Moa, who are in the form of the real digital humans. Although the first type of the virtual influencers with the cartoon-like shapes were in the form of the virtual characters, and they're very pervasive from the beginning, technological and AI developments have led to the creation of the virtual humans era. And so there's a lot of virtual human influencers working in Korea. And both of the types are very, they have unique characteristics, and they all reflect the interest and activities of the fans all around the world. So some of the most famous virtual characters are in the shape of 3D virtual characters. And one of the famous Korean idol group, aespa, has virtual avatars of themselves in the drawing. And the shape of one of the example of the virtual human, we have Louis, which is working in the YouTube. The form of the virtual human is coming out on the YouTube, and there she's singing and dancing in the YouTube.
Okay, thank you, Klleon. And please, as a Malivar CEO, Valery share.
Yeah, I think the superpower of virtual humans, it's you can customize all of these humans for different target audiences. And we started with 3D characters in social media in Russia, in Moscow. For example, Aliona Paul, Anna TNT, etc. But we quickly realized that computer graphics only, it is very expensive and time consuming. That's why they switched to machine learning. And now my point is that you need to split all virtual humans for two parts, human driving and AI driving. And it's like the two different directions with different set of technologies. And I think the main challenge for all virtual humans in different regions, it doesn't matter what kind of countries, it's all about technologies. Because just now, all virtual influencers, it's more about picture, it's not about animations. Or if we are talking about AI-driven characters, it's only about, I don't know, the appearance for voice assistants for B2B, but not about entertainment. Because entertainment, it's all about video, daily basis video. And that's why technology is the biggest challenge for all of us, for all virtual characters in different countries.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next, about the character tests and the advantages of the company's virtual human in terms of the production cost, cycle time, and the production capacity. And the first, please, Klleon.
So our virtual human, the biggest strength of our virtual human is that anyone can create a virtual character of your preference in anytime, anywhere, in merely a few minutes. So we are using deep learning technology to build our virtual human. So when we input the image that you want to make into our program that we're using internally, then you can make the virtual human really, really easily. So for more, as I told before, our character is made in, the face of it can be made in like 10 minutes. And when you are when you're creating the characteristics, the personality as well, it'll take about a week. But only when you're looking at the face itself, you can make it really, really easily. And for when you're making a content, you can make it very easily in three hours. So for all of the contents we are posting on the Instagram, it takes only about 3 hours for us to photo shoot it and then create it by the artificial intelligence. So with our technology, you can simply create a virtual human of anyone with only one single facial image.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jawad, please, from Jawad.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Firstly, I need to clarify a point in your questions, because I can see sometimes you're saying virtual human and sometimes you're saying virtual influencer. And I just want to say that digital human, virtual human is not necessarily virtual influencer, okay? They are totally different, in fact. A digital virtual human is a 3D characters who looks like 100% like a real human. And a virtual influencer could be a virtual animal, a mix of humans, cybernetic stuff, etc. Virtual models are using a lot of fantasy instead of digital humans. Simple example, with Lil Mikola, is a digital human because she's acting in the real world and exactly like a human. And another example, Sarah is not a digital man. She's a virtual model and influencer because even if she's humanoid, which means she has one head, two arms, two legs, etc., she has a tail, cyber hair, cat, and fancy stuff. She's acting in the metaverse and fantasy world. So, and this thing is a really important concept because both of them have different business model and marketing targets. So we really have two things different. Virtual humans and virtual engineers are not the same. Same technology, but not same business. So back to your question. Well, it is an interesting question, sorry. And unfortunately, I won't be able to answer those details because well, I'm a company, I'm under India, especially when we talk about production cost. Virtual model and virtual influencer is definitely the future, of fashion, business marketing, and blockchain metaverse development. Big companies are thirsty and eager about those new technologies, being among those companies who are not afraid to develop new technologies through the virtual influencing. So for me, it's definitely an advantage for us to be leader in this industry. With one virtual influencer, we can work with many companies around the world, which means when we are designing one virtual character, we can use it many times without adding new costs. So it's a cost saver for companies who are doing this, but also the client and customers.
Very great, thank you. And the virtual share, Mario CEO, we want to know about your production capacity. Yeah.
It's the difficult question with different answers. As I mentioned before, it depends on what kind of virtual humans and what kind of and what is your goal. For example, if you want to generate never existing person via Malivar IO in a second. But if you want full body, hyper realistic, 3D character with long hairs, I think it's weeks or months. It depends, because if we are talking text-based characters like Synthesia, maybe you know this project, in a minutes. And I call it infrastructure layer with different technologies. Just now, we can see that all startups, all companies focused on one technology. For example, Synthesia, text-based avatars, Malivar, face swapping, and NFT, I don't know, Epic Games with MetaHumans, full body 3D characters, and it depends. But the short answer, in a second, if you want to generate via AI, in a minute, text-based avatars, and weeks if you want 3D character.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, next, Mănicu.
Yes, so our virtual persona is not owned by a company. It was created as a virtual influencer for Instagram strictly. And since it's not owned by a company, we have the freedom to create content on social media when we feel there is a need for a virtual person followers to see what else is going on in the avatar's life. So the production costs are almost non-existent, and the production time of a social media piece can take a few hours, depending on the complexity of the idea. So
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mănicu. Okay, next, what are the core application scenarios of the virtual digital humans at the present? What's the help of the virtual digital humans to bond the marketing? The first, we want to hear about Klleon. Yeah.
First, creating virtual human is much cheaper than hiring a famous model. And so for small businesses for which they cannot hire their own models, they can create their own virtual humans very easily, or use the virtual human very easily. So we can help the small business to grow very bigger. And then another good part of the virtual human business is that we can create a video with one character speaking in diverse languages. For instance, for our video for Moa, we can create her to speak in Korean, English, Japanese, Chinese, so on and so forth. So we can use the same contents for very globally. So in any language, in any country, we can use it for everywhere. So virtual humans can be applied to various industries in various ways like this, not just only on the form of the virtual characters or virtual idols. Industries that currently require manpower are constrained in terms of time and space. But when we're using the digital virtual humans, we no longer need to have to be bounded by this temporal or spatial limitations. So using these characters will not only create the joy to the people, but also provide work convenience and efficiency.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jawad?
Yeah, sure. Well, for me, I would say the main application you can find for digital humans and digital influencer is brand marketing. Like I said earlier, brands need to be competitive, and then they need to be unique when they are exposing their names on the internet. Working with virtual influencers is something futuristic and out of this world, which is why big brands are working closely with virtual influencers, making their business unique. This is the key word. I come back to the previous question because it's linked to this one, and production capacity is also important for defining the core application. I will take an example. For Sareka, we are using artificial intelligence, looks like many of those guests, and we are using AI to generate picture according to our queries, which means we don't need a complete team of 3D artists to produce pictures or even a video about Sarah. For example, in one click, we can generate 10, 20, even 100 of pictures. So it's definitely a game changer for the company itself, but again, also the partner. Because yes, this technology is costly. It's not open for everyone. And again, what are the brands they are mostly looking for to have a cutting price, which is why they prefer to hire, well, in the future, in the near future, they would prefer to hire virtual model instead of, like she said previously, famous model, which can be more costly. So yeah, this is my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mario Shah.
Ownership is very important for B2B companies because you invest time and money in digital ambassador, and it's very important that you want to own video commerce, live commerce, because you can generate a set of sellers for different regions, for different target audiences, for different types of goods. Of course, marketing. It's all about virtual influencers. It's all about virtual ambassadors, news presenters, but it's all about technology stack, because all of these directions, all of these streams depends on technologies. When we are talking about news presenter, it's all about text to gestures, text to animations. When we are talking about TikToks, it's all about face swapping, head swapping. If we are talking about, I don't know, big companies and the virtual influencers for Instagram, it can be 3D graphics like Lil Michaela. Yeah, it depends on technologies, but E-commerce, marketing, TV shows, broadcasting, and ownership. Ownership is very important.
Thank you. Yeah. Mănicu?
Yes, so we believe that a cleverly made campaign, a marketing campaign that features a virtual person at the forefront can make a brand successful, whether it is known or unknown. So automatically people will talk about that campaign if it's unheard on some regions around the globe, you know. And a virtual persona can be as the creator wishes, so anything will be possible in that campaign. And in general, and it can the campaign can be controlled easily by a capable people, avatars can help social media and marketing, but in general, in the sales area. So they are effectively inevitable innovations that need to happen. And if you think about the cost of a commercial or an advert, it is much cheaper to use a virtual person, as you said earlier.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Next, what's the logic behind the successful as a virtual idol? Not only the technical ability, but also the IP operation and the consent, the immersion. How to create a successful virtual idol IP? First, Korea, Klleon. Yeah.
Okay, so the logic behind the successful. So there are many reasons behind the success of virtual idols, but I think the most important point is that the risks, as we were talking before, are significantly minimized than using the actual human being as the model, so that they can overcome the time and space constraints, and they're not living the actual life outside, so they are not creating any risks outside. And moreover, I believe that the rapidly changing trend of consumers also play a big role in it. Unlike in the past, the fact that consumers who have been growing up with various characteristics make them much more reluctant in accepting those virtual humans, virtual idols. So they are the ones who are currently leading the market, and I believe that the current technological advances would have a greater impact in this regard.
Okay, very good. Jawad?
Yeah, sure. Well, for my opinion, again, I would say mainly it's curiosity, discovery, and of course, innovation. Users, people using social media are keen of getting fancy stuff. They are looking for something they've never seen before, which what we call a buzz. When virtual influencers start to be published in social media back to 2016, people highly welcome this innovation in North America and Japan, in Asia, mainly those countries. The success of virtual influencer really depends on your markets and countries. For example, in my experience in 2015, I designed a virtual influencer for the Chinese company HelloTalk in Shenzhen. It was a success, and it shows that Chinese people are keen on this kind of innovative content. But we did with the company the same promotion marketing in France, and it was like a void, null. No one was interested about this. Again, a different culture. Some countries are welcoming innovation very well, and they are working hard, like in China. And this is definitely a game changer in the industry. So of course, personally, I really hope one day China could be lead those top countries of virtual influencing, and this is why we are watching right now. We know that China is investing a lot on this technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. And next, we'll share. Yeah. Very sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Am I right? You ask about how to create the famous and successful virtual character.
Yes.
Now, you need to clarify your goals. You need to clarify your technology stack. You need to clarify your target audience. Because as I mentioned before, the superpower of all virtual humans, you can generate a face you like for different types of audiences. It depends. We are talking about B2B companies, or we are talking about artists and B2C market. For example, when we work with big name brands, they prepared the very big description what kind of virtual character they want. For example, now we are building the virtual character for Sub-Saharan Africa region for alcohol company, and this company had a lot of statistic data based on target audience, and then we are choosing the right technologies, because if you are going to be successful in TikTok and social media, you need to post content every day, and the 3D graphics doesn't work. In this case, we are going to provide AI and machine learning. Or if the big companies going to build the brand ambassadors, for example, for one TV show, we can create something like Love, Death and Robotics on Netflix via 3D graphics. It depends. But the first step, clarify your goal, technology stack, and your target audience.
Very good. Thank you. Mănicu.
Yes, so the success of a virtual influencer is first and foremost the information he or she delivers or conveys. So the followers on social networks or direct consumers of virtual people must find themselves in them and empathize with them. So here I would like to give an example of the characters, to give as an example the characters in a movie, for example. Although we know that the characters that we see is a surreal action made according a well-written script, so we cannot remain indifferent to the action taking place and empathize with the character. So, and in second place, would be the look, which in the era we live in is very important regardless of the culture of location. And only in third place, and lastly, in my opinion, is that what you create online, what pictures and videos you post, more inspired or uninspired will be.
Okay, very great. So the next, let's talk about the challenges and the future prospect of the virtual digital humans. The first, what are the main challenges involved in the development of the virtual digital humans at the present? How to deal with them in the future? First, Klleon, yeah.
Digital humans has been utilized in a lot of industries already, and I think the future possibilities are endless. But as you just said, there are challenges that we have to overcome, and that it is not fully welcomed by the consumers yet. So there are issues yet to be solved, just like you just said. And I believe that further technological advancements can create a more natural virtual human beings. But right now, we still have the problem of so-called uncanny valley. So it looks like human, but it is a little different. So it creates some feeling that makes you feel very uncomfortable of seeing something that looks like human, but not as friendly as the real human. Moreover, we will have to devise and suggest the ways to use these digital humans solutions in more positive manners. As you know, there are technologies called deepfake. So with this technology, when you can create the virtual videos of the existing people into pornographies, or as you know, like the fake news is. But we have to suggest the more positive manners to use these virtual humans. So as digital humans becomes more and more like human-like, negative opinions are also emerging, and there will be a lot of ethical problems. In response to these concerns, we will need to provide consumers with correct information on how to use these digital humans, on how it can help and how it should be used correctly, so that our technologies can help their lives in a positive way. I believe that it is essential, and it is essential role to provide this kind of ethical information to our customers from us.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Jawad, what are your views on the future percept of the virtual digital humans? Which scenarios will see the application of a digital people explode, and how long will it take?
Yeah, sure. Firstly, about the challenges, I would say people, users in social media are very happy to see new technologies, but they get bored very easily. The turnover in social media is very fast, especially we are mentioning many times TikTok here, but it's same for Instagram, Snapchat, and many social media. And the main challenges for virtual influencer is to staying alive, I would say. I mean, they need to be more than a simple picture posted in social media. They need to talk, dance, interact in real time with people. Like I said, they need to stay alive. Reaching this technology is not really easy at all. Every panelist mentioned about the challenge with the technology. It asks good investment, having talents in your company, depending what you are doing. And for myself, I believe a lot of virtual influencers will not exist in a few years because they won't be able to follow the evolution of the technology. About the future prospect of virtual humans and the scenario and how long it will take, well, for me, with the evolution in computers and technologies, we're gonna see the virtual influencer and virtual human more often. It could be anywhere. You could ask to a robot in the street through a display, your way, like you can see in Dubai, for example, or Abu Dhabi, in UAE. It will not longer have a real human for this. It doesn't need to ask a human to hire a human, etc. It's costly again. Prospects are wide and huge in this technology. Virtual human, we also act in this service industry. For those who are famous, they could be worldwide exposed, like a pop virtual group. We have Klleon from League of Legends, for example, and I believe it works very well in South Korea. To be short and sweet, virtual models will act like human in the future through digital experience, such as an augmented reality display, hologram, or virtual reality, like the famous movie Ready Player One. It's gonna take some time to see that because the technology is not yet ready. For now, they don't exist a good augmented reality set to be used like a smartphone every day in your life. Pressing to get access to this technology, it's a big challenge. If you want to adopt this technology, it's very fast. In the entire world, this device will need to be cheap. For example, a lot of economists predict 5 years ago a giant leap for the virtual reality industry, but 5 years later, it's never happened because the price of a VR device is too expensive, and then developer will not be interested to design experience, and then people won't be interested anymore. So it's like a bad leap. This is how you kill a new technology actually. It's actually the same for HoloLens. Unfortunately, Microsoft stopped definitively this project. because who gonna pay 3,000 for a big fat area glass? Well, the answer is obviously no one. So before seeing those virtual humans everywhere, like we can see in the futuristic and sci-fi movie, firstly, the technology need to be open for everyone and being cheap, like we can see for a smartphone.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, what else, share? Yeah.
We compete with traditional way how to create the content with real humans. It's the general challenge for all of us. Because the average customer don't understand how to create virtual humans, how to create the content with virtual humans. Then we need to several specific problems and challenges like standards. All metaverses have the different standards. Costs and time for production, the speed of the technologies, and computer powers, because all virtual humans, I think it's all about GPU or cloud computing, and it's very expensive for traditional customer, for end users. And for example, for our company, for our team, very big challenge how to enhance our AI algorithms for smartphones, because we are going to run our virtual humans via smartphones in this year and in real time. This is the technical challenge. What is about ethical? I think it's not the big challenge. It depends on generation, because when we are talking about Gen Z, these guys born and raised with computer games, with smartphones, they already know who are virtual characters. Ethical is very important for all generation. And I think we will see the mark like sponsored content in Instagram, for example. We'll see the mark like real human or not real human, where we will see the new generation of social networks with synthetic humans, with synthetic contents like Snapchat, for example. In Snapchat, every day users using masks, different AR effects, etc. And I think, the general challenge for all products, not only about virtual humans, the traditional way to do something. In our case, traditional way to create the content real humans.
Thank you. Yeah. Mănicu.
The main challenge, I think, are primarily the changing social networks and the power of virtual people to adapt to these changes. Because lately we are seeing a migration of content creators from Instagram to TikTok, and they are totally different platforms operating on different principles. After that, it is very important how people react to interacting with virtual people. It will be a very strange though to see a campaign promoting some care products like cream, something for the face, and to see a virtual influencer saying they recommend that. And that, in my opinion, it's no fair and credibility in front of potential customers online. So it also depends on people's culture and their openness to innovation. In the future, I think virtual people and virtual influencers will be seen everywhere, from social media to advertising campaigns. And it will take this shift from traditional to virtual. It will be cheaper for a company to own a virtual person than to pay actors, for example, or models to promote different types of products or services. And as different areas move towards digitalization, there will be automatically be a way of integrating virtual people.
Very great. Thank you, Mănicu. Yeah, due to the time constraints, today's roundtable discussion is coming to an end. Thank you for your wonderful sharing. If you would like to learn more about Chinese virtual human marketing and the development of virtual human business in China, please contact our organizer, CCL Global's Seungah. The recorded video will be translated into Chinese and edited before being released on the Chinese living stream platform at 8 p.m. on 20th, as well as upload on YouTube and the Bilibili platform in China. So we can share it with you at the same time. Thank you again. Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Thank you again.
For serving your
Have a good
time.
day.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you for, yeah.
Have a good day.